I know I've been quiet the last couple days, but allow me to explain. Judging the title of the video, if you guessed that perhaps I was grinding hide and seek, you would be correct. That's pretty much all there is to it. I'm spending hours a day getting my levels up, and yep, I happen to hit max along the way. Wonder how that happened. It's funny because I technically hit max in hide and seek 3 times. Not that I hit 75 3 times, but when the max was 20, I hit that quite quickly back in 2019. Then I hit 50, then I hit 75, and I'm sure 100 will be accessible not too long from now, so yeah. But to actually talk about what's meant to be talked about, I liked grinding hide and seek. I think it's one of the easiest games to earn XP, and so it makes it for a simple, casual grind that not a lot of other games would be willing to offer. Now let me address the elephant in the room, and that's the fact that hide and seek's casual aspect might be too extreme for some people. It's the fact that hide and seek is so uneventful that people aren't interested in doing the grind. Yes, the XP comes easy, and yes, it can be quite rewarding, but on that same token, the execution of that journey is where it can get stale, because again, you're stationary for 5 minutes, you're taunting, you're trying to avoid being found, and that's really all there is to it, and you have to keep doing that, because it's pointless to be Seeker. Personally speaking though, I enjoyed my time grinding hide and seek, even if I did do it a little too much. Case in point, this here is my monthly stats for hide and seek. I placed 203rd in the world overall, which is pretty respectable. But I played 363 games in that time, which averages to just over 14 games a day. So it's dedication, but it's not over the top. Now, here is our obsession problem. So, this is weekly. And instead of playing 363 games in a month, we've only decreased that by 61 because there are still 302 games played in the last 7 days alone. The hilarious thing about this is that we're not talking 14 to 15 games a day anymore, we're talking 43 games a day now. But try to spare me a little bit, I was grinding 2 or 3 levels every day for a few days consecutively, even to the point of giving up a little bit of sleep. Now, sleep deprivation jokes aside, which isn't really a joke, I did have fun with hide and seek. Despite its somewhat stale gameplay and its uneventful nature, yes, it was an entertaining experience to just grind this out. It was a nice break from the PvP I was mostly doing the week before, so I did enjoy this. I'm hoping that hide and seek will add the next 25 levels soon, and hopefully prestige shortly after. I think hide and seek would make for a great prestige game mode, so I hope the Hive gets on that. I'm glad I didn't get too ahead of myself here like I did when level 50 came out, because when level 50 came out, I went from 24 to 50 in 3 days. This time, it took me more like 7 days to go from 55 to 75, and I did it proportionally, where I took breaks in between, so I didn't feel too burnt out when it was all said and done. If they were to add hide and seek level 100 tomorrow, I think I'd be right back on the grind. Because I decided to grind, I actually learned a couple things about some of the newer maps. For the most part, I wasn't really happy with the newish maps. Construction, I wasn't big into. Facility, I didn't like at all. But when I looked at it objectively and understood that some maps are better than others for a hider's experience, I took advantage of that. And because I did, I got to appreciate some of the maps that I originally undervalued beforehand and gave it a little bit of respect. While it's not a masterpiece of a game like some others out there, it is important to realize that hide and seek does have its place on the Hive, both as a grinding game and just as a simple, casual, fun experience. When PvP is frustrating you because of its closet cheaters, blatant cheaters, annoying players, or sweaty players, hide and seek's a great game to turn to, and that's because it's uneventful to the point that it's kind of relaxing. It's a good way to alleviate a lot of that irritation that you get from the more high-strung and competitive games. So in that sense, I'm very fortunate to have it here. A lot of minigames on the Hive can create division. Gravity is a game where some people love it and some people hate it. When it comes to block drop, some people like it, some people don't even know it exists. Ground Wars, for some reason, a couple people love it, and most people would rather wipe their ass with it. But as my closing note, I think hide and seek does a great job at being very inoffensive. I don't think there's many people who dislike hide and seek. I think everybody here can have fun to some extent, even if it's in small proportions. Because keep in mind, some games are better with no proportion rather than little. For now, it's time to close the book to hide and seek, but when those next levels are added, I'll see you guys in the lobby.